There is a lot of information on the shopping window. If every time the hard pull or the hard review is made on your credit, that it drops your scores. And then there's information where it's only the first one and you have a window to shop. So you let us know what is true.
There is so much information out there about this. And it's hard because it's all based on which FICO algorithm everybody is using. Okay. So with the FICO algorithms that you guys use for the mortgage, which is going to be the
Mhm.
FICO 2, 4, and 5, the FICO 2, 4, and 5 have a 14-day shopping window. What that means is from your first inquiry, you
Mhm.
have 14 days to shop, and those inquiries are not going to affect the score. Now, that doesn't mean that other things can't change in those 14 days, right? Where you could see a different score. So if your credit card balance changed or whatever, you could see a different score. But the inquiries are not going to ding that score in that 14-day window. Now, the downfall with shopping is that after the 14 days, they are going to calculate it. So they're not just free inquiries where you can just have your credit pulled 100 times and they just never affect anything. They just don't affect the score for that 14 days so that you can shop around, see who's going to give you
Ah.
a good
Mhm.
offer. And then after that, they're going to calculate it. So we want to be careful with shopping. I'm not saying don't shop, right? I'm just saying pick a couple maybe. Don't go out and have 15 people pull your credit, because we're usually looking at a 2 to 5 point hit,
Every time.
when we're looking at, and it can be more if you have really good credit, but on average it's about a 2 to 5 point hit for each of those inquiries.
So that's interesting. Better credit, it might be a harder hit.
Yeah, so if you have really high credit scores, and you don't like, there's nothing derogatory, you have a really long length of history, you haven't had your credit pulled in a long time, um, that one thing can affect it more, which I know it seems
Mhm.
weird, but it's the same thing. Like if I okay, so I've been in this business a very long time. I have very good credit. My credit score probably sits around an 825. If I were to have a new late payment, my score would probably drop under a 700, which is going to be, 100 and probably 120 something point drop.
Mhm.
And I mean, it could be even more. Whereas somebody that, maybe they only already have a 550 and they have a new late, they may only see a 10-point hit.
That's interesting. And then does it change for like car shopping versus mortgage shopping? Is that why there's so much conflicting information?
Yeah, and it's hard because when you're car shopping, a lot of times you don't have control over who actually pulls the credit. You go in and they just shotgun it out to,
Yeah.
that's what we call that, is a shotgun credit pull. They send it out to all the banks to see who's going to approve you, who can keep it under the monthly payment that requested, just to try to get you approved with the best rate and whatever your payment was needed to be at. And those inquiries also hurt the score, and those are frustrating because those ones most of the time you actually don't have control over. I mean, you just have to be very specific when you go in. I am only applying through Toyota or whoever. Do not have anybody else pull my credit. Or the best recommendation if you're going to get an auto loan is to actually go to a credit union, get a
Mhm.
pre-approval, and take that pre-approval to the dealership, and then that way the dealership does not have to pull your credit. You're going through a credit union, and then you only have the one inquiry, you already know how much you're approved for, and you don't have to deal with that shotgun.
And the 14 days outside watching your credit go down if you've had an excessive amount of them.
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah.